All right, what's up, everybody? It's December 1st. Welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. We're in chapter 4 of The Art of War. Verse 5 Security against defeat implies defensive tactics. Ability to defeat the enemy means taking the offensive. Verse 6 Standing on the defensive indicates insufficient strength, attacking a superabundance of strength. Number 7 The general who is skilled in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. He who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. Thus, on the one hand, we have the ability to protect ourselves, on the other, a victory that is complete. So, little differences in 5 and 6. Security against defeat implies defensive tactics. But then he says standing on defensive indicates insufficient strength. So depending on how much you're into football history and defense and the Bears defense back in the 80s and 90s, when it was like offense scores touchdowns, defense wins championships. It is true, and I think that we need to first go to the alternate translation before we dive too deep into what Sun Tzu is saying, because we know that defense is important. I don't think that necessarily being well defended is weak. Okay, Master Sun says, defense is for times of insufficiency. Attack is for times of surplus. Li Kuan says on this that those whose strength is insufficient should defend. Those whose strength is superabundant can attack. Master Sun said, that was the second one. I think we missed this one. Invincibility is a matter of defense. Vulnerability is a matter of attack. Cao says, for an invincible defense, conceal your form. When opponents attack you, then they are vulnerable. Dumu says that as long as you have not seen vulnerable formations in opponents, you hide your own form, preparing yourself in such a way as to be invincible in order to preserve yourself. When opponents have vulnerable formations, then it is time to go out and attack them. Zheng Yu says that when you know you do not yet have the means to conquer, you guard your energy and wait. When you know that an opponent is vulnerable, then you attack at the heart and take it. Wang Chi says those on the defensive are so because they do not have enough to win. Those on the offense are so because they have more than enough to win. Interesting. Okay, so back to defenses for times of insufficiency, attack is for times of surplus. Zheng Yu says that when we are on the defensive, it is because there is some lack in terms of a way to seize victory, so we wait for what we need. When we are on the offensive, it is because we already have more than enough of what it takes to overcome an opponent, so we go forth and strike. This means that we will not do battle unless we are certain of complete victory. We will not fight unless we are sure it is safe. Some people think insufficiency means weakness and surplus means strength, but this impression is wrong. So that's what Zheng Yu is telling us. It is because there is some lack in terms of a way to seize victory, not because we're weak or whatever. It's because we are being strategic. We're analyzing the situation, and we know that right now is not the time to attack. Okay, so last verse. Master Sun says, those skilled in defense hide in the deepest depths of the earth. Those skilled in attack maneuver in the highest heights of the sky. Therefore, they can preserve themselves and achieve complete victory. Cao says they hide in the depths of the earth by taking advantage of the vastness of the mountains, rivers, and hills. They maneuver in the heights of the sky by taking advantage of the times and nature. Dumu says that in defense, you hush your voices and obliterate your tracks, hidden as ghosts and spirits beneath the earth, invisible to anyone. On the attack, your movement is swift and your cry shattering, fast as thunder and lightning, as though coming from the sky, impossible to prepare for. And finally, Wang Chi says, defense here means lying low when you do not see any effective way to attack, sinking into stillness and recondite silence, not letting opponents find you out. Attack is for when you see an advantage to aim for. On the attack, you should be extremely swift, taking advantage of unexpectedness, wary of letting opponents find you out and prepare against you. I like their reflection, the other generals' reflections on it, because here I was thinking before we actually dove into the alternate translation, like, what does he mean? Why is he saying like defense is like good here, and then he's saying it means you're weak here, when in reality it just means like That's okay. Like, it is okay, like, to be on the defense when you're being strategic and you can't find a route to attack. You can't find a good reason to to go in and attack. All right, December, out of the Daily Stoic by Brian Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. December's theme is meditation on mortality. Okay, December 1st. Pretend today is the end. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Interesting. I like it. I like it. It's scary because how often are you putting the finishing touches on your life? Every single day. That is from Seneca, Moral Letters 101.7b through 8a. Live each day as if it were your last is a cliche. Plenty say it, few actually do it. How reasonable would that be anyway? Surely Seneca isn't saying to forsake laws and considerations, to find some orgy to join because the world is ending. A better analogy would be a soldier about to leave on deployment, not knowing whether they'll return or not. What do? They do their duty. They go. They serve. Okay, what do? They get their affairs in order. They handle their business. They tell their children and their family that they love them. They don't have time for quarreling or petty matters. And then in the morning, they are ready to go, hoping to come back in one piece, but prepared for the possibility that they might not. Let us live today that same way. Okay, so this is really important, because life is fragile and life can end at any point, any day, for any reason whatsoever, and not being hung up on petty quarrels and things like that is very important. Gosh, can you just imagine the regret? I'm sure a lot of people do. I'm sure a lot of people reflecting on this can say, like, or just know, or even recall a time in some TV show or movie where it's like, the last thing I said to my husband, the last thing I said to my wife was this, and they have like this regret forever before they went out and got in a car wreck or something like that. And I think that's what this verse is speaking to in a lot of us, is that we can't just live life to full abandon, right? Just because it could be the last day. We have to go out and do our duty. We have to keep our lives in order. And just like Sun Tzu was saying on, when it's time to be defensive versus when it's time to be offensive. It's just but you have to be aware of both at all times. And like, as much as we anticipate the next day coming, we still have to get our life in order every single day, because we just don't know.